Hello friends, welcome to all. Today my topic is automobile AC system. So let's introduction about automobile AC system. Automobile AC system is nothing more than heat exchanger. There are only six major parts to the system: the compressor, the condenser, the receiver dryer or accumulator, the thermal expansion valve or orifice tube, the evaporator, and the refrigerant. All above parts we will discuss later briefly. So first of all, what is air conditioning? Air conditioning has worked pretty much the same way for its entire existence. It cools and removes humidity from the air. There are three main parts to the system. As above we see the compressor, the condenser and evaporator. It is the main part. Third part achieve this plus a few other parts to keep the system running smoothly. Few other parts means receiver dryer, thermal expansion valve, refrigerant, so on. Let's take a look at each. Okay. So this is the typical figure of automobile AC system and flow of refrigerant. You see red one. Red one is the high pressure side, which is outlet of compressor. So what is the work of compressor? Compressor compress the gas and increase its pressure and heat. So these lines uh, shown by red color and its parts are called high pressure side, and the blue line shows low pressure side. So basically there are in all AC system, whole AC system, there are high pressure side and low pressure side. So all automotive air conditioning system are nearly closed loop with a high pressure side and low pressure side. We will we will start with the high pressure side as it leads from the engine to the passenger compartment. So first of all, we start with the compressor. So it is the basic original figure of the compressor. Let's talk about compressor. Commonly referred to as the heart of the systems, the compressor is typically a belt-driven pump that is fastened to the engine or motor. It is responsible for compressing and transferring refrigerant gas. So the compressor is a pump driven by a belt attached to the engine's crankshaft. When the refrigerant is drawn into the compressor, it is in a low pressure gaseous form. Once the gas is inside the pump or compressor, the compressor lives up to its name. The belt drives the pump, which puts the gas under pressure and forces it out to the condenser. Compressors cannot compress liquids, only gases. You will see as we go through the system that there are other parts whose job it is to capture any water that accidentally leaks into the AC loop. So compressor compress only gas, not liquid. So in the compressor, the gas form is must in the gaseous refrigerant gas must in the gaseous form. Next, compressor clutch. This clutch is driven by electromagnetic clutch. When we switch the AC, when one switch the vehicle AC system, this electromagnetic clutch engage the pulley and shaft to work with the AC system. The compressor clutch assembly. The compressor clutch assembly has three major components: the coil, the pulley, and the clutch. The compressor is an electromagnetic clutch assembly. The compressor has an electromagnet clutch assembly that can engage and disengage to the compressor drive. The compressor pulley always turns when the engine or motor is running, always turn. But at that time, not AC system is working. But the compressor only runs when the clutch is magnetically engaged. to the pulley by use of the electromagnetic coil. As I said, the clutch is attached to the compressor driving shaft. Next is the figure of condenser. So let's talk about use of condenser. Condenser is a one type of heat exchanger. So condenser is the area in which heat dissipation occurs. The condenser in many cases will have much the same appearance as the radiator in your cars, as the two have very similar function. The condenser is designed to radiate heat or exchange heat with atmospheric air. Its location is usually in front of the radiator. As I say, the condenser is basically radiator, and it serves the same purpose as the one in your car. The radiate heat out of the system, which heat when compressor compress the refrigerant gas. Due to this compression, gas has high pressure, and due to high pressure, temperature of gas also increases. So in condenser, we lower this temperature. So the refrigerant enters the condenser as a pressurized gas from the compressor. The process of pressurizing the gas and moving it to the condenser creates heat, but air flowing around the twisting tubes of the condenser cool the refrigerant down until it forms a liquid again. So below the condenser or outlet of the condenser, the refrigerant gas is in the form of liquid. This gas is in liquid form. In the compressor, this refrigerant gas is in the gaseous form. Imagine steam cooling down and condensing back into water. As I say, you can easily imagine when steam vaporization of water, or we call steam, when we cooling it down and condensing back into water, and you have got the idea. The liquid refrigerant is now a high pressure liquid and nearly ready to cool the car. Okay. Next, after the condenser, there are receiver or dryer. So this is the figure of receiver and dryer. The purpose of receiver and dryer is the receiver dryer is used on the high side of system. As I said, compressor, condenser, and receiver and dryer. This is the high pressure side system that use a thermal expansion valve after it. This type of metering valve requires liquid refrigerant. To ensure that the valve gets liquid refrigerant, a receiver is used. The primary function of the receiver dryer is to separate gas and liquid. The secondary purpose is to remove moisture and filter out debris. So what is the purpose of receiver dryer? Any type of moisture contained in refrigerant, so receiver and dryer extract it from the system. Why? Because if there are any moisture present in the system, it's damage to the system, or as now we see why it is harmful to the system. So as refrigerant moves out of the condenser, the liquid goes through a little reservoir installed in the line. This receiver dryer, this is called receiver and dryer. This receiver contains desiccants, small granules that attract water. And what is in the receiver or dryer? As you see, there are a small granules that attract water. We have seen, for example, we have seen packets of desiccants in your company shoeboxes, where they do the same thing, attract water from the air to keep a new shoe fresh and ready for your feet. They are usually labeled "do not eat." In the receiver and dryer, they remove any water that has entered the system. If the water is allowed to remain and possibly from ice crystal, it can damage the air conditioning system, because in evaporator there are very low temperature, so it possibly make ice crystal. There's enough high pressure for anyone. So let's move on to the low pressure side of the system. This is the thermal expansion valve. What is the working of thermal expansion valve? The thermal expansion valve or TXV, commonly used on import and aftermarket system. This type of valve can sense both temperature and pressure. A TXV is a very efficient at regulating refrigerant flow to the evaporator. So let's see what is thermal expansion valve. The system changes from the high pressure side to the low pressure side in this valve, at this valve. If you were to touch this part of the system, you will feel it change from hot to cold. This high pressure side is always hot, and when you actually put your hand on this low pressure side system, you will feel the coldness of this low pressure side system. The high pressure liquid refrigerant flow from the receiver dryer through the expansion valve, where it is allowed to expand. This expansion reduces the pressure on the refrigerant, so it can move into the evaporator. The valve senses pressure and regulates the flow of refrigerant, which allows the system to operate steadily. But moving parts of the valve can wear out and sometimes require replacement. So this valve decrease the pressure of the refrigerant gas, and due to this refrigerant gas has reduced its pressure. So this type of valve, although efficient, have some disadvantages over orifice tube. Thermal expansion valve also used in replace of orifice tube. Like orifice tubes, this valve can become clogged with debris, means foreign particle, but also have small moving parts that may stick and malfunction due to corrosion. In this thermal expansion valve, very tiny hole present in this expansion valve, and this refrigerant gas pass through this tiny hole and release its pressure. So this is the orifice tube. This orifice tube serves the same purpose in allowing the refrigerant to expand and the pressure to be lowered before the liquid enters the evaporator, as thermal expansion valve doing. The orifice tube allows refrigerant to flow at a constant rate and has no moving parts. Thermal expansion valve has moving parts. Orifice tube has no moving parts, but it can become clogged with debris over time. Debris means foreign particles. So it has very narrow passage, so it can become clogged with time. System with an orifice tube automatically turn AC system on and off. Next, this is the orifice tube, as I said mentioned, and this is the evaporator. This evaporator contained in dashboard in vehicle system, and other compressor, condenser, receiver dryer, expansion valve are in the bonnet or under the hood. So this evaporator is actual the part of AC system. So let's see how it works. In the evaporator, this evaporator is where the magic happens. While all the other parts of the system are located in the engine compartment, this one is in the cabin, usually above the footwell, or we put our foot on the vehicle above our foot. It also looks like a radiator with its coil of tube and fins, but its job is to absorb heat rather than dissipate it. What condenser do? This condenser dissipates heat. Refrigerant in condenser, refrigerant give up its heat to the air, and in evaporator, refrigerant absorbs the heat of the compartment and make cooling in the vehicle cabin. Refrigerant enters the evaporator coil as a cold, low pressure liquid. Note down, refrigerant enters the evaporator as a cold, low pressure liquid. Low pressure because of orifice tube or thermal expansion valve, and is in liquid form. Ideally at 32 degree Fahrenheit or 0 degree Celsius, which is why you don't want any water in the system. Now you know why we put receiver in this system, receiver dryer in this system, because any kind of moisture present in it, it's clogged in evaporator and become fine ice particles, which is damaged system. The refrigerant doesn't freeze at this temperature. Refrigerant have very low freezing temperature. So, but it does have a very low boiling point. The heat in the cabin of the car is enough to make the R134A. What is R134A? It is the refrigerant gas is used nowadays most widely, or we can say mostly used 134A gas as a refrigerant. So this gas, the heat in the cabin of the car is enough to make the R34A in the evaporator boil and become a gas again, just like water turning back to steam in its gaseous form. Refrigerant can absorb a lot of heat. The gas moves out of the evaporator and out of the passenger compartment of the car, taking the heat with it. A fan blowing over the outside of the evaporator coil blows cool air into the passenger compartment. So this air become a very cooled air because of refrigerant. So the refrigerant in gas form then enters the compressor where it is pressurized and the whole process starts all over again. If the system uses an orifice tube, there will be an accumulator between the evaporator and the compressor. An orifice tube sometimes let too much refrigerant into the evaporator because it has no moving parts, so no control of flow of refrigerant. So it lets too much refrigerant into the evaporator and it doesn't all boil. Since the compressor cannot compress liquid, only gas, the accumulator traps any excess liquid before it can get into the compressor. The evaporator also takes humidity out of the air in the car. Humidity means water vapor present in the atmospheric air. So this automobile AC system also control the humidity of the vehicle inside the vehicle cabin. So the evaporator also takes humidity out of the air in the car, which helps you feel cool. Water in the air condenses on the evaporator coil along with dirt and pollen and anything else floating around in the cabin. When you stop the car and see water dripping underneath your evaporator or your dashboard, it's probably the water from the AC evaporator and nothing to worry about it. Okay. So there are two types of refrigerant used in automotive application, R12 and R134A. So R12 is very harmful to ozone layer, so it is obsolete nowadays, and widely used R34A as a automobile AC gas system. So this is the container of R34A refrigerant.